Underlying love, beneath the surface it lies, in the whispers of secrets and unspoken ties, caught between the heart's gentle tug and the dance of romance, in the arms of love.
You are listening to Bradley Barkhurst's Underlying Love, a Worthington, Ohio mystery. Chapter 9, Part 2. The Fall Harvest Festival. Seeing the Goodyear logo, her pulse quickened. This must be a response to her inquiry about whether the tires she took photos of were used on any specific vehicles. Elizabeth tore open the envelope eagerly and unfolded the letter. It read,
Dear Miss Russo, thank you for contacting Goodyear regarding our Kelsey Hayes 18 inches by 3 and 5/8-inch tires. That particular model is standard issue for use on all milk delivery trucks manufactured by Ford. The tire track patterns you photographed in the mud and the tire treads on the tire without mud do appear to match. Please let us know if you need any other information. Sincerely, John Dorsey, Goodyear Tire Company.
Elizabeth could barely contain her excitement as she showed Samuel the letter.
This proves the tire tracks outside Hobo Jeff's belong to Milkman Bailey's delivery truck,
she exclaimed.
It's concrete evidence against him.
What good is it if he's dead?
Replied Samuel.
Well, at least we know he's involved in planting the knife,
said Elizabeth. Clutching the letter, Elizabeth hurried along, filled with hope and vindication. The darkness was receding at last. Elizabeth felt emboldened by Samuel's steady presence. She would help exonerate poor Jeff, expose the real killer, and banish the darkness from Worthington, once and for all. As Samuel bid Elizabeth farewell, she picked up her phone and called the Worthington Cab Company. She requested a ride to the state penitentiary where Hobo Jeff was being held. She had scheduled a meeting with him at 2 p.m. that afternoon. As the cab pulled up, the temperature took a deep dive. Before walking outside, Elizabeth grabbed her coat and placed the letter from Goodyear in her coat pocket. As the cab driver took her to downtown Columbus, gray clouds started to burst with rain.
Well, it is Ohio in the fall,
Elizabeth said to the driver as he pulled up to the prison. After checking in at the front desk, she was escorted to the visiting room. Soon, Jeff appeared in his black and white striped uniform, shuffle-stepping in leg irons. Elizabeth was taken aback by his transformed appearance. His formerly scraggly hair and beard were neatly trimmed.
Jeff, it's so good to see you,
Elizabeth said warmly as he sat down across from her.
You're looking well.
Jeff nodded.
I reckon being locked up forced me to clean up some. Haven't touched a drop of liquor since getting hauled in here.
He leaned forward eagerly.
Finding it real hard convincing folks I'm innocent, though. You're the only kind soul who believes me, Miss Russo. I sure appreciate you coming.
Elizabeth patted his hand reassuringly.
I know you didn't kill Mr. Collins, Jeff. I'm going to keep investigating until your name is cleared, I promise.
Elizabeth hesitated, then said carefully.
Jeff, Officer Jameson told me that you confessed to killing Mr. Collins after I first spoke with you. Is that true?
Jeff looked down shamefully.
Yes, ma'am, I did confess, but only because that policeman tricked me into it.
He went on bitterly.
Jameson said that if I just admitted to the crime, I wouldn't get a death sentence. But I ain't guilty. I was just scared of dying on the chair, so I told him what he wanted to hear.
Jeff met her eyes pleadingly.
You've got to believe me, Miss Russo. I never laid a hand on Mr. Collins, but that policeman kept pressuring me to own up to it. I didn't know what else to do.
Elizabeth was appalled, but unsurprised at Jameson's underhanded tactics. She grasped Jeff's hand firmly.
I do believe you. Officer Jameson took advantage of your vulnerability, but we're going to make this right, I promise.
Jeff wiped his eyes, overcome with gratitude. Elizabeth's resolve to expose the truth hardened. She refused to let the innocent suffer to protect the guilty.
I have my trial next month just before Christmas.
Jeff continued gloomily.
They tell me I'll likely get life in prison.
Overwhelmed, he dropped his head into his hands and began weeping. Elizabeth immediately moved to comfort him, gently rubbing his back.
There, we're going to clear your name before then. I promise.
She drew the distraught man into a supportive hug.
Have faith. You are innocent and we're going to prove it.
Just then, a stern guard appeared.
All right, time's up.
Jeff dabbed his eyes as he was led away in shackles.
Bless you, Miss Russo.
He called over his shoulder. Elizabeth sat quietly, gathering her emotions, before departing the Stark prison. She was now in a race against time to exonerate Jeff before his sentencing. Failure was not an option. She refused to let him pay for another's sins. With truth and justice on her side, she would bring the real killer to light and restore freedom to the gentle-hearted vagrant. The shadows could not withstand the brilliant beacon of truth for long. As Elizabeth was exiting the prison, the guard called for her to come with him. She was led into a dimly lit room. Inside, a man in a suit and a hat sat at a desk, smoking a cigarette.
Miss Russo, I'm Detective Morris with the Franklin County Sheriff's Homicide Unit.
He introduced himself.
I wanted a quick word since I'm the lead investigator on the Collins murder case.
Leaning forward intently, he asked,
Do you have any information that could aid our investigation?
Heart pounding, Elizabeth rapidly relayed everything her certainty of Hobo Jeff's innocence. The evidence against Milkman Bailey, the mysterious cigar, and Officer Jameson's unwillingness to pursue other leads. Detective Morris scribbled notes, nodding along.
I see, this is quite illuminating. Do you know of any motives on why someone would want Mr. Collins dead?
Elizabeth wrung her head nervously.
Possibly Dr. Bentley was having an affair with Mrs. Collins, but I have no proof. Maybe Milkman Bailey had a beef with the Collins family. I don't know, so what should I do?
The detective leaned back on his chair.
You just keep on your path, miss, and let me worry about law enforcement's role. Discretion is of the utmost importance here.
Though somewhat cryptic, his assured tone heartened Elizabeth. Help was coming. She just needed to stay the course towards the truth. Thanking the detective profusely, she hurried out, feeling emboldened. The light was growing, shadows slowly receding as mysteries came to light. Worthington's fate hung in the balance. Just before leaving, Elizabeth quickly mentioned the Goodyear letter, confirming the milk truck tire treads, as well as her photographic evidence.
Do you have those photos and letters?
Detective Morris asked.
Yes, I can give those to you.
Elizabeth said, pulling out the letter from her coat pocket and handing it to Detective Morris.
Here is the letter from Goodyear. It was Danny, a senior from Worthington High School, who helped me develop the photos. I don't have them here,
replied Elizabeth.
I can give those to you later. Can I contact you with any further information?
She asked urgently.
Don't worry, I'll reach out to you discreetly if needed. For now, please just carry on as usual.
He gestured for her to close the door. Still bursting with questions, Elizabeth reluctantly left the detective's office. The cab driver was waiting outside to take her back home.
Back home, ma'am.
He asked her.
Yes, back to Worthington, please.
Elizabeth replied, settling into the seat. She watched the grim prison fade into the distance as the sun started to make its way through an opening in the clouds. Hope and trepidation churned within her. The detective's interest seemed promising, but the urgency was building. Time was running short for poor Jeff facing sentencing, and whoever killed Mr. Collins and Milkman Bailey were surely desperate to keep their secrets buried. Staring out at the passing farmland, Elizabeth steeled her nerves. She was in too deep to turn back now. Cloaked in shadows, the remorseless killer may still be lurking. But she would illuminate the darkness, no matter the risk. Justice would prevail. As the cab rattled up the country road, Elizabeth mulled over Detective Morris's question. What motive was behind Mr. Collins's murder? She realized investigating that angle further could be key to cracking the case wide open. And that likely meant returning to the scene of the crime for clues. Elizabeth's pulse quickened at the thought of going back to that house, but it had to be done. Perhaps examining Collins' study or personal effects would provide insight into why someone wanted him dead. She considered who might have access to let her look around. Little Amy was too young, and Mrs. Collins seemed to resent Elizabeth's snooping thus far. That left Dr. Bentley, the friend of the family, who Elizabeth still suspected of shady involvement. But appealing to his ego as a concerned citizen might persuade him. Arriving home, Elizabeth hurried to the phone and rang the doctor's office, not knowing if he would answer on a Saturday. She took a steadying breath as his gruff voice answered the phone.
Hello?
He asked.
Dr. Bentley, this is Elizabeth Russo. I wonder if we could discuss something privately regarding the Collins case.
There was a weighty pause. Finally, Bentley replied.
Come to my office first thing tomorrow morning. Don't be late.
The line clicked dead. Elizabeth shuddered slightly. It felt like making a deal with the devil. But she reminded herself that solving a murder meant getting one's hands dirty. First thing tomorrow, she was going to look evil straight in the eye.
Thank you for listening to Underlying Love, a Worthington, Ohio mystery. What will Elizabeth discover when she visits Dr. Bentley's office to discuss the Collins case, and how will their interaction unfold? Will Detective Morris reach out to Elizabeth with any updates or requests for further information regarding the investigation? And will Betty find her missing Jell-O recipe? To find out these answers, be sure to tune into further episodes of Underlying Love.